Hey, what is up guys? So the new Pendulum Magician cards are looking pretty good. This card over here, Pendulum Graph of Ages, I think is way too good. The fact that your opponent can't target spellcast type monsters you control with spell effects is already like a decent effect. It's not like the best effect, you know, Book of Moon at 1 in the TCG, but the thing that makes this so good is if a face-up Magician Pendulum monster in your monster zone or Pendulum zone leaves the field, you can just search your deck for any Magician Pendulum monster. You can only use its effect once per turn, but it's a continuous! So that means you can search multiple times, and it's just when it leaves the field. It doesn't have to be destroyed. Just whenever it leaves the field, just go ahead, search out for whatever you want. I think it's a little bit overpowered. You guys will see in these replays from Mr. Silvery Wolf. Shout out to you for already sending me in the replay. I didn't even know they added all of the new cards, the Astrograph, Sorcerer, and like, I just think this card's too good. But once we see it in the replays, you guys will see how strong this deck is, because I think that Pendulums, you know, when we had 3 Skull Combat Joko, 3 Monkey Board, it was out of control, but like, now we're just going to search out extra cards. Yeah, you can only use this effect once, but it doesn't matter when you could just search whatever you want, and that's what really makes the deck so dang good, as you guys will see here in the replays. There's a lot of people trying out different builds. This one's playing with the Ignites. Now, I've always said Ignites are pretty good, but, you know, there has been a few Ignite decks up top, but I think Metal Foe is just a much better Pendulum deck as of right now. But this one is also looking pretty good, as you guys will see with the Pendulum Graph of Ages. And if you draw bad cards, hey, you still have Pendulum Sorcerer. It's still a pretty good card. Being able to, again, just search for so much stuff. Look at that. The draw power. You have the Lizard Draw over here, the Turtle. So much draw potential in the deck. You can see he's destroying his own card, destroying another card. He's going to go ahead and make Draco Ascending. Draco Slayer, he's going to go ahead and destroy itself. And then he's going to go ahead and search during the end phase. Like, you have so much access to destroying your stuff in the monster zone, then you just get to re-summon it later on. And on top of that, you got Sky Iris, so Magician, Perform Pal, and Odd-Eyes cards in your Pendulums can't be targeted by opponent's card effects. Oh my gosh. And then on top of that, you have this, which also kind of protects them. Again, I know Book of Moon's at 1. Not really many people are playing it. I still think Forbidden Chalice is a great card, but you couldn't really make good use of it against, you know, this stuff over here. But you guys will see he's just going to go ahead and spam a bunch of monsters on board, just like, you know, Pendulum decks do. He's going to go ahead and make Castel. Send that Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon to the extra deck, and he quits over there. But I just really feel like that card is too good, and you guys will see it in these replays of how good this card is, simply because, yeah, it just searches out whatever you need in the deck. And I'll also give you guys the deck profile, so if you guys are interested in trying out the deck yourself, you guys can go ahead and try it out. But nonetheless, Sky Iris, you know, pretty good card, destroying your own cards. I'm going to go ahead and summon the Astrograph Sorcerer, because this card actually has an effect where once it's in the Pendulum zone during your end phase, you can destroy this card, and then on top of that, well, it was going a little fast there. Where did the card go? Well, one of the cards... Okay, we'll see that card again later on, but like, one of the cards is like, if something's destroyed, you gotta go ahead and summon it. So he's gonna go ahead and max change. No Dark Law coming out today, so he'll be A-okay on that. Dark Law can definitely ruin a lot of Pendulum decks. He's got that Quaking Near Force face down. He's gonna go ahead and get rid of that card. And then he's got the Odd-Eyes Persona Dragon. He's gonna spam the board. He's got 2 of the new Pendulum Sorcerer cards, or I guess Magicians. But he's going to flip everything face down, and then the guy top decks Raigeki over here. Raigeki, pretty strong card. He's going to go ahead and get that bonus effect of Violet over here. Let me move this out of the way. So this one has a pretty decent effect. This card is always treated as a Fusion Dragon card, and if it's destroyed by Battle Bar card effect, you can target one face-up card in the field and destroy it. So he was able to get a bonus destruction over here. Going to act that Mass Change, go for Mass Hero Acid. Going to go ahead and destroy all the Pendulum skills and attack directly, and then he's going to go ahead and make Utopia Lightning. And I was thinking, you know, he can come back from this no problem. And that's why Pendulum decks are pretty good, guys. You're able to just complete your scale. This card, Iris Magician over here, it's another one of those newer cards. Hopefully I can mouse over it before the game ends. Okay, so this one has the effect where, once per turn you get target a dark spellcast type monster you control, any battle damage your opponent takes is doubled, which can definitely make a game if your opponent, you know, pays a lot of life points. On top of that, if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you get to add 1 Pendulum Graph card from your deck to your hand. And you know, this card, Pendulum Graph of Ages, is a pretty good card, and you can see he definitely did come back from that. And that's just because the deck is very, very strong. As long as you are able to complete your scale and your opponent can't get rid of it, even if they do, as long as you have other cards, just throw it on the board, spam the board once again. this deck is looking pretty strong. And you know, once the Sorcerer is destroyed, if a card or cards you control destroy a battle by card effect, you get to summon the Sorcerer. That's the card I wanted to mention before. But this guy opens up with Bahamut Shark, Treat Toad. But when you have 3 Pendulum cards to go for, you're A-okay. I think he should always be activating this first, but nonetheless, he's not going for it. It isn't needed. I guess it just shows you guys how good the deck is, even without even needing to go for the Pendulum Graph. But I think it's still definitely good just to throw it out there, you know. So maybe they'll destroy that, but he's gonna go ahead and absorb a card. He's able to go ahead and attack over stuff. And then, you know, again, just being able to search out all the cards, it gets out of control. Is really what I think it comes down to. Like, Black Whirlwind used to be at like 1, right? Because it was too good. Searches out a card when you summon. But this is whenever a spellcaster, or I'm sorry, when a face-up magician monster in your monster zone or pendulum zone leaves the field, you get to just get that effect. I don't know. I just think it's a little bit too good. But you guys can let me know how you feel about that. Do you guys think that this card is OP? A lot of searching cards, they usually get banned or they get semi-limited. Not saying that this card was going to get banned or semi-limited because the deck just came out. I don't know. Here in the TCG, we had Skullcrabat Joker, Monkey Board, legal, like at its maximum potential for 2 weeks, and then they hit it. They got to sell us the cards first, and then they go hit them with the ban list. You know, got to get that money, and then I don't know, make us players salty by banning the cards that we spend money on. I hate when they do it to Secret Rift. I remember when, I don't know if you guys played back when Fireface got the Rooster combo and they had that Rooster combo and they got banned really, really fast. We got that ban list. Microcell summon, and this one's just a cheeky little play over here because he's got access to easy rank 7s, and that's something that Pendulums were able to do, but with the Astrograph Sorcerer, I think it makes it so much easier to spam out things like Rare, or the Flare Metal Dragon, which can completely destroy certain combo decks. Like a Synchro deck, they start activating a bunch of effects, they're going to have to pay too many life points. And on top of that, if you hit them directly, they pay, you know, too many life points with Solemns or something. This guy realized, I can't win, I need my effects. So he's going to go ahead and just lose because, yeah, he just didn't have options to get rid of the stuff. And then now we have a matchup against Blue Eyes, which some people will think, oh, Blue Eyes, you know, just make, you know, boss monsters against Pendulum deck, which some decks do lose to, like, just big beaters. But the thing is, I feel like Utopia Lightning has really changed up the game. Had that card not existed, a lot of decks would be a lot better, specifically, like, cards that have easy access to one of those cards where it's just like, it's got massive amounts of attacks. We covered the Metatron card yesterday. If you guys haven't seen that card, I'll link it down below. It's a pretty boss monster. It's basically like another version of Towers where it can be immune to everything. And then on top of that, like if that wasn't good enough already, they made it so if that card leaves the field, you get basically whatever you need out of the extra deck, which is crazy. Like, I don't know, it's so strange to see we get these cards banned that search out cards, but then they're just like, oh, re-release them, who cares, man? Sell it to the kids. I don't know. Do you guys feel dirtied by this? I don't know. When I look at these cards that are like immune to everything, I'm like, well, why is Towers banned? Like, I don't mind that you release cards that are like, you know, a boss monster, but please just, you know, give us back the card that has the same effect so some of us players that had those decks can now kind of play them a little bit, even though, let's be honest, with, you know, the things that they hit in the Cleese, you know, it's still not the most meta of decks when you look at, you know, what's available in the game. But anyways, I know some of you guys want to mess around with the new Pendulum Magician Sorcerer decks. So here is the deck profile. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is the original one from the guy that built it, as you guys saw in the replays. But anyways, we have 2 copies of Oddie's Pendulum Dragon. Some effect that not many people know. If this card battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is doubled, which actually can be really cheeky, and you can actually win the game sometimes off of that. Just keep that in mind. Obviously, if you're playing online, don't worry about this because, you know, Dueling Network doesn't exist anymore. Next up, we have 3 copies of Astrograph Sorcerer, which is, you know, when this card is destroyed, summon it, and it just makes a lot of things easy because it's also a rank, not rank 1, a pendulum scale of 1. And then next up, we have Kieran, 1 Kieran because you can only play 1 now. We have 1 copies of Oddie's Persona Dragon, and then we have 1 copy of Lesser Pendulum the Draco Slayer, 1 Skullcrabat Joker, 2 copies of Guiding Ariadne, 1 copy of Wisdom Eye Magician, 3 copies of the new Iris Magician, 3 copies of Perform Pal Pendulum Sorcerer, 3 copies of Violet Poison Magician, 3 copies of Bunboku, 2 copies of Oddie's Mirage Dragon, 1 Perform Pal Lizard Draw, 1 Trump Girl, shoutouts to our new president, Trump, and then we got Giturtle over here, and then we have 1 Pendulum Call, 2 copies of Terraforming, 3 copies of the new Pendulum Graph of Ages, and I think that this makes the deck so much more consistent. On top of that, making the deck more consistent, you have the ability to be like, oh, search out another card. It just forces your opponent to target other cards besides your Pendulums, even though your Pendulums can't really get destroyed anyways because you got Sky Iris. I'm basically running 5 copies of it. And then we have 2 copies of Solemn Strike and 1 Warning. For the extra deck, we got Star of Venom Fusion Dragon, 1 Auda's Vortex Dragon, 1 Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Ignis of Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer. Then we got Enlightenment Paladin, 1 copy of Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, number 11 Big Eye, Utopia Lightning, Utopia to make it. Castell, we got the Magic Spectre, the Ascending Draco Slayer, we got Dagosto Emerald, Abyss Dweller, aka Rip in Peace, Burning Abyss, and then we also got Phantom Knight of Break Swords. So that is it for the deck profile. It's looking to be a pretty strong deck. If it gets any more support, it's only going to be getting better. But let me know, guys, do you think this is a deck that has a lot of potential to be meta? I personally think it does. I mean, it's got lots of great consistency. You have access to a lot of great cards in the extra deck. And on top of, we talked about Metatron before where like it couldn't be targeted. Well, you know what? This card does not target. So hey, there you guys go. But anyways, that is it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure you guys give a like button, a titty slap. And I am signing out.